Hey friends, I've been making a popular state dessert every week for the entire year of 2024, and this week happens to be Oklahoma, and I made fried pies. You guys might not be able to believe this because I cook all the time, but I have never made my own pie crust. I always use Pillsbury, but this time I'm making my own and I will never go back because this was so easy. Wait, scratch that. I might go back. I never say never, but I did find making this crust was actually quite easy. I used a couple cups of flour, a stick of butter, a little bit of sugar, and then some cold water and mix that all together. Now, I know every pie crust recipe is different. I read so many of them. This one worked out perfect for these fried pies. Now, once that was all mixed together, I wrapped it in some saran wrap and put that in the fridge to chill. While that was chilling, I got my pie filling ready. Well, really, I bought pie filling, but I did cut it up into some little pieces. So when it was nice and hot in those fried pie, it would not burn anybody's mouth with large pieces. So once I have that cut out, I'm bringing my dough back and I'm going to roll that out into a thin sheet, just like you would any other pie crust. And I was actually very impressed with this. That's why I'm saying I would make it again because it wasn't too hard and it was a nice flaky dough. I mean, how can you go wrong with making a pie crust with a stick of butter in it? But anyway, let's get our oil heating up in our cast iron skillet on the stove. And then I took just a cereal bowl, traced it with my knife in order to cut out circles for each one of my little fried pies. This worked out perfectly fine. I pulled up each one, put a little bit of flour on it, and stacked it off to the side as I went through all of these. Once I had this full large piece of crust cut out, then I just rolled it back up, rolled it out, and then cut out a couple more. So there wasn't any waste. Now, I know as I've been making some of these state desserts that a lot of states could probably claim fried pies, but I chose to give them to Oklahoma. And they're delicious, so I'm sure Oklahoma would claim them. Now, once I had those all cut up, I'm going to pull over the pie filling, put a dollop right in the middle, close these up, and then I just went around each one of them with a fork. Now, these are going to get fried, and cinnamon sugar on top. They don't have to look perfect. I just wanted to make sure they were sealed completely so nothing leaked out when they were frying in that hot oil. So you can see once I seal those up with a fork, I push the ends in a little bit, and now let's get these into the oil. I shouldn't be surprised, but I am very surprised at how easy these were and how good they turned out. I guess anything really that is sweet and deep fried probably is going to taste good, but I've never made anything like this at home before, so I was really excited about this. I've made little hand pies like this, but I've always baked them, so this was definitely new for me. And I don't know if my cast iron was a little bit too hot at the bottom, but some of these got a little bit dark on the sides. But guess what? It doesn't matter because I made some cinnamon sugar and I rolled them in them and you couldn't even see anything. I just took some sugar, put in a healthy amount of cinnamon, stirred it around, and then I just rolled those fried pies right in that cinnamon sugar. Now that large can of pie filling and that one pie crust made 8 of these little hand pies or fried pies. And you can see over here, I used a cookie cooling rack on a cookie sheet for these to dry. I did read that this will make them stay crispier instead of just like putting them on a paper towel or something to soak up that oil. And they were crispy and delicious, so this definitely worked. And here you can see I just spooned that cinnamon sugar mixture over on both sides and then shook a little bit of it off and put that back on the cooling rack. Now, I don't know if all fried pies have cinnamon and sugar on them, but I made these in the fall and I thought it's just a perfect combination for the fall is cinnamon, sugar, and apple. You can see this last batch coming out and you can see they're a little bit dark in places. And again, I'm not sure if that's my cast iron skillet. Maybe it's normal. Maybe they look perfect. I'm not sure. If you've made them before, comment below and let me know if maybe my oil wasn't deep enough or if that looks perfectly normal to you. I'll tell you what though, they were delicious. So it really didn't matter. They didn't taste burnt. They tasted perfectly delicious. And I couldn't believe how nice and crispy that crust was. I really do want to try baking some of these in the oven once and seeing if that crust holds up using that homemade crust with the butter. I'm going to cut into it and you can see how yummy this is. It was crispy and crunchy and so delicious. And now here comes the taste test. Here it is, the Oklahoma fried pie. Fried pie?
Fried pie.
Let's give this thing a taste. Here you go. Here's what we're looking like inside. Nice and gooey.
Very nice. That tender apple and that cinnamon sugar on top. Very good. Very good.
That crust is so, so good. Oh, you can't fry pies every night, but this is definitely a good treat. Thank you, Oklahoma and Arkansas.
And Georgia with the peach ones.
Thank you, Southern friends, for your delicious fried pies. These Northerners enjoyed them.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for watching.